Hello, let's get a bit closer. Hello everyone, it's James from Keeping It Anime, and today let's talk episode 34 of Bungo Stray Dogs, entitled Cannibalism Part 1. Quite possibly one of the most epic and brilliant episodes that we've gotten from this franchise thus far, in terms of build-up and character moments and choreography as a whole. This episode flowed brilliantly and built up tension and build up characters to go to boot. First off, let's talk about a character that the Port Mafia and, let's be honest, us as viewers underestimated, and that character is Tanizaki, the wielder of light snow, which, if you don't remember, is the ability to create illusions. This episode, he shows off just how deadly and awesome his gift, which is light snow, can be. Right from the get-go, he isn't even phased when staring down the Port Mafia's top dogs. So not only is he able to trick Chuya and the others in thinking the whole agency is squaring off against them, because it's just him on his own with his ability projecting illusions of the other members. He also manages to trick his guards with the help of Kunakida and his ability, in order to sneak off and to try and assassinate Mori, until the wielder of Golden Demon shows up, putting a stop to his plans, almost killing him. But honestly, this whole kind of scene and segment with this character just did brilliant wonders for him as a character in this series. The fact that the Port Mafia underestimated him and we as viewers underestimated him is because he hasn't done anything, so to speak, in terms of having really good moments and good ideas within the series so far. The only memory I personally have of him is being killed or half killed by Atagawa in pretty much the first couple of episodes. Like, that's all I can remember from him, really. But no, in this episode, this really does justice for his character in showing just how ferocious, how deadly, and how determined he is in order to save someone that he cares about. Next, let's talk about our main villain, the demon Dora. And the demon is a good description for his character, because although he doesn't appear all that much in this episode, he does, however, add to the darkness and the sickening feeling that we get from this episode. It's unclear to us what his overall goal is, but a goal that he somewhat had in this episode was to destroy Kunakida and make him doubt his ideals. How did he do that? Well, he orchestrated a plan that not even Rambo could basically figure out 100%. He basically orchestrated this plan where this guy was supposedly the wielder of the cannibalism ability, so that the armed detective agency will hunt him down. And when they did, Kunakida and Natashi basically chased after him, leading them to some kids with semi-machine guns. These kids were ready to put down their lives in order to stop them from reaching their friend, or brother. I think it's their friend, because their brother is the next one, and this bit really did give me chills, because Kunakida basically runs up to this last kid, and this kid has grenades hooked around his body. And it's the fact that we keep panning to Dora and this other character that we saw in previous seasons that tried to do pretty much the same thing to Kunakida for revenge, really did give more of an eerie type of feeling to this episode. Especially when you had Kunakida slowly bringing this kid around to his senses, and then Dora's kind of words echoed into this kid's mind. And the visuals for this was just brilliant. We have Dora kind of standing behind him, whispering in his ear, saying that if he brings out his notebook, you need to pull the trigger. And this kid does. And what happens is it leaves Kunakida devastated. Even by his facial expressions and body language, he looks like a defeated person. Almost, but we all know that Kunakida is someone that won't be beaten easily, and he'll probably bounce back in the next episode. However, his ideals are probably going to be kind of somewhat hit, because he did shoot a kid in the arm just to get past and to save Atashi, and he did fail to save someone who, in a situation, he managed to do beforehand. So, from a kind of mental warfare kind of perspective, Fedora is being a brilliant demon in my point of view, and a brilliant antagonist. I absolutely love this character from an evil type of point of view because of his because of his mental challenges he gives to our characters. He does also to one other character, but we'll get to that character in a moment. First, Kyoko. Kyoko, her only good moment in this episode was saving Tanizaki, which I would have loved a bit more interaction between Kyoko and the Golden Demon user. These two were kind of almost like mother and daughter, because she was kind of Kyoko's guardian when Kyoko was in the Port Mafia, but it's thanks to Kyoko being in the Port Mafia and knowing their roots and hideouts and everything like that she was able to save Kanazaki. Like I said, I just wish there was a little bit more interaction, but from the point of view of the lady who owns Golden Demon, she just wants what's best for Kyoko, even if that means Kyoko's with the Armed Detective Agency. She just wants her to be happy. She even proves that almost by kind of telling her men to stand down because they'll shoot and injure Kyoko if they try and go after him. So that was nice from her character point of view. I just wish there was a little bit more between them. Maybe we'll get some later on. I don't know. Okay then, so the other character that Fedora is really taking off, and that is Rambo. One of my favourite characters, and this episode basically shows off his greatness in trying to find out the virus user. And this would basically save both of them. But like I said, Fedora is proving to be a massive challenge for Rambo, which I absolutely love in this series, because Rambo, when he gets serious and has a hard time and he struggles, it really does show just how good of a detective he is. And he even states in this episode, it's like going up against Dazai, and he doesn't like it. So it's kind of confirming that Fedora is Dazai kind of level in terms of plans, smarts, and manipulation. He may even be a little bit higher. So as it stands in this show, time for negotiations have passed, and it looks like war could be fast approaching between the Armed Detective Agency and the Port Mafia. Finally, some action and warfare where basically some people might die, and they even state that in this episode. However, though, the Armed Detective Agency's boss awakens and tells Lucy, because he's in Alice's room, you know, the kind of ability that Lucy has, that they should not fight the Port Mafia. He states that his life is not worth it, and they need to keep the peace within Yokohama and the rest of the city. I've got one problem with that, though. Yes, they need to keep the peace. Yes, they probably will lose quite a few people if they go up against them. But if they kill their boss, or their boss dies, then they're really going to seriously lose out on manpower. Because, if you remember correctly, you can only control your ability to the best that you can if you're using the Armed Detective Agency's boss ability, that when he sees you as an ally, you can control it better. So Kyoko, Atashi, even Tanizaki, anyone in the detective agency that has a gift would lose not the ability to fully control it, but to control it as well as they can. And I know they kind of addressed the whole accepting your ability and using it to your best in the movie Dead Apple, but I feel like even if they were to lose their boss, it would surely half their usage of their ability. Atashi might not be able to go full Were Tiger, or to the point where he can basically turn his body into it but keep his human form. Or Kyoko might not even be able to call upon Demon Snow, Sayayuki. She might not be able to do that. She was only able to do that because she passed the agency test at the end of season 2. So keep that in mind. If this guy dies, which I did state in my last review that he probably will end up dying. But hopefully our characters can sort something out and this will blow over and they'll team up and go up against Fedora and his group. Or maybe the guild would throw a curveball into Fedora's plans, because their strategists might actually implement the house in Dead Rats into their plan to basically control everything and to gain the most financial gain, or to get this book, or to do whatever they are trying to do at this point. So overall, I absolutely love this episode. This is an episode that I would recommend to anyone who wants to get into this series. It's a go-to episode that I really am expecting good things from part 2, because if part 2 is as good or even better than this episode, then this can only be a good thing for this show moving forward. This show has slowly been progressing in terms of its quality and quantity, and this episode really brings it all to the table and gives us a good delivery. Even from an animation point of view, brilliant. Music and sound effects, loved it, especially when Fedora was playing the cello or whatever musical instrument it was, and they had the same kind of music going on while Kunakita was struggling to get this kid to his senses. I loved it. It was brilliant, sort of back and forth. Great. So yeah, overall, I would highly recommend this episode. Go watch it if you haven't. You'll 100% love it if you're a fan of this franchise. And if you're new to the franchise, it'll probably get you into it, if I'm honest with you. So that's all I've got to say for this review. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have, smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new so you never miss a video from me. And until next time, if you want to watch another video, it'll be in the description below. And that is my top 5 characters or battles that I would like to see between characters within Season 3. Go watch it, let me know your thoughts and who you would like to see go up against each other. If not, don't worry. But other than that, guys, I hope you'll have an amazing day, and, well, keep it anime. Goodbye.